I've had sisters that have had medical treatments for certain things. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that word on TikTok or not. Am I allowed to say AB on TikTok, Thrayle? Is that against terms of services or?
Well, it might be airing out your sister a little bit, but right?
She's an mom on here, but we're saying it's not like I'm 100% with you. Love who you love. You are who you are. I have no say in what a woman does with her body. I have no say in what someone can do with whoever they want in their room. And I think anyone trying to interfere with that or try to put someone down for what they do in their own business is disgusting. And so, no, I don't hold any of those merits. I'm actually a very critical person when it comes to the church.
In their room. What about in public?
What do you mean, publicly? Publicly, I'm a lot more extreme publicly with my beliefs towards how the church tries to be involved in politics. I'm very very loud. I'm a very, very loud person about it, and I'm very unapologetic about it because people's lives are at stake. About it because people's lives.
Well, hello there, Rebel Preacher. We've got a very loud echo coming off of you, so I'm gonna go ahead and hit that mute button just for a moment. If you meant to be here, I'm gonna need your age for TikTok TOS. Go ahead and unmute and give that to me.
Forty.
You said
40 years old.
There we go. I hear you. Do you have a belief in a god or God's higher power or anything like that?
I was raised a Catholic, but I have not been anywhere near the church in 25, 30 years.
25, 30, fascinating. Do you have a belief now in a god or gods, a higher power or anything like that?
Yes, I do, but every belief that was taught to me has been interpreted into another belief. So God became the universe. Forgiveness became not recognizing someone's sins.
What is sin?
I live in a world now that I still...
What is sin?
And that is why I do not call it sin. If someone wants to live a life without harming, and I mean harming others, they are allowed to do that. So when I walk this world with all the education I got taught as a child,
let's go ahead
I do not see it.
It seems as though there's a delay. It also seems as though you're not really here to answer the questions. So what we're going to go ahead and do is just set you down, and when you're ready to have a conversation with other people where you respond to them and interact with them, you can try again. But I think we're going to give this song that's been playing here for a minute just, a little bit more of a chance it deserves. Appreciate all of you for tapping the screen, by the way, 34,000 times. Thank you guys. Keep tapping.
Are you sure? Do you know that knowledge is yours to know? Is the truth out there? Is it yours to own? Oh, are you sure? Do you debate yourself for reality? Are the facts in question? Are you firm in your belief? Are you certain? Are you sure? Can you question? Are you sure? Got a quiet little table in the corner by the bar, where the questions pour like whiskey and the truth walks in unstarred. I'm not stealing any halos, I'm not picking heaven's lock, just a curious kind of stranger tapping gently on the box. So come on up and join the panel palette. Slide your stories in the light. I won't burgle any gods you're holding, I just want to see if they survive the night. Lay your answers on the table or say nothing if you fall, 'cause I don't know is a fine confession. It might be the truest one of all. You can bring your saints and sages, you can bring your private prayers. We'll hang them on the coat rack with our worries and our stares. Every creed can take a shiver, every faith can feel a chill. If it trembles when we touch it, tell me, was it ever really still? So come on up and join the panel, darling. Let your certainties feel small. I won't shake the sky just to be clever, I just want to see what stands, what falls. Lay your answers on the table or leave fingerprints installed, 'cause I don't know is a sweet surrender. It might be the truest one of all. I'm not here to steal your Sunday or the stories that you trust. I just dust them in the doorway, see what's diamond, what is dust. When the last defense is silence, when the brightest words grow dim, maybe doubt's a kind of chapel and the question is a hymn. So come on up and join the panel, darling. Let your sacred shadows crawl. I won't pick the pockets of your heaven table or let uncertainty stand tall, 'cause I don't know in a smoky whisper might be the truest line of all.
Hell yeah.
I mean, it's groovy. It's not what I meant to play, but sure.
I love this backtrack. Just love a good bass line.
I mean, absent a believer soon, we're gonna be left to question my taste in music, and that's not fun, especially since all of these are community-made tracks. I think that's pretty fucking awesome. And if you happen to want to join this community, you can always check out the Discord link in the link tree in my bio or in the Batcolyte's bio. Either one takes you there. It's that first link, you just gotta make sure you read the rules.
That second link, you know,
Hell yeah.
you're gonna click on that second link and you just, you know, you're down with all this, what we do up here. You want to rep that, you know, that second link, man, go check that out.
It is always growing over there. Whatever is there, there's always more coming.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, we've got a guest. Ooh. Hello, Truth Seeker. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Hello, I'm 40.
And do you have a belief in a god or God's higher power or anything like that?
No, I do not.
Why not?
My experience with God, I grew up in a cult, and I've experienced many different religions, and none of them proved to have a God. It was only basic human knowledge. So the beliefs behind human brains are not God, and I have not experienced God in my life. Everyone who hears me talk thinks that I'm AI. That is so funny.
I
so sorry.
didn't think that at all. Yeah, no, the thought didn't even cross my mind. So, what is it that you think might compel you to believe that a God does exist?
I mean, you read the Bible, there's stories about God appearing in front of men and men bowing to burning bushes and, you know, women turning to pillars when they look back at a city that's burning. What would compel me to believe in a God would
Any
literally be someone standing in front of me saying, I am God.
So just a human standing in front of you saying, I am God, would be enough?
Oh yeah, totally, because that hasn't happened before. No.
So what is it that would actually compel you then? What would convince you that this is a God?
That's a really good question that I don't think I don't think that, what would it take me to believe in God? I don't know, an inner sense of a knowing. I would have to have a sign. Someone would have to prove to me that there's a God, or a God would have to stand in front of me for me to know that there's a God.
How would you know the thing in front of you is a god?
I don't know, but I know that if I saw it, I would know.
Do you know what a god is?
A non-human entity that is all powerful? Like, yes, I do.
What does all powerful mean?
Now, does anyone here believe that we are gods?
Oh, my mic might have been cut volume there. I said, what does all powerful mean?
All knowing, all seeing, all feeling, something that overcomes our human bodies. Because all of us are in a human body, but not all of us are humans.
What does that mean?
We're all spirits in a body, correct?
What's a
I don't know
spirit?
what that means.
A spirit in
We're
a
a
body.
spirit in a body. It's kind of like a meat suit that we kind of drive. It's not who we are, it's what we kind of represent.
Can you tell me what a spirit is?
I can't. Can you?
You
No,
were
it's
the
just
one who said it.
that we're a spirit in a flesh body. I just wanted to know what's a spirit?
Well, can you tell me what a spirit is?
Can you answer the
We're
question
asking.
without
We're
asking
asking.
the question?
Hey, we're asking you. We would love to know what you meant by
Because
that.
you made the claim that we're spirits in this body. So can you tell me what a spirit is, or what that spirit is that's in these human bodies?
So what I realized is that we look out of our eyes. We don't look at the world.
I got you. So
We see
you're
our
not
nose.
actually going to answer the questions. That's really interesting. Truth Seeker, I appreciate you coming up and sharing what you did and answering the questions you did, but I think I'm ready to move on to a guest who actually does want to question their beliefs. So, appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Middle of the sentence, classic Thrayle.
Classic Thrayle. Hello, Robbie. Can I get your age for TikTok TOS?
Here. One more time here, let me.
I need your age.
I'm 26.
And do you have a belief in a god or God's higher power or anything like that?
Yeah, I believe in Jesus Christ and that God is three persons and one, the Trinity.
Interesting. And have you read your Bible from beginning to end?
No,
Why not?
haven't finished it yet.
Do
It
you
takes a long
believe?
time.
Do you believe the stories in the Bible to be true and literal?
Yes, I do.
All of them.
Yes.
So the 6-day creation story is entirely true and literal to
Yes.
you. Why do you
I believe everything's literal. I don't take anything allegorical.
So everything being created exactly in that order in that number of days, that's true to you. Why?
So now in terms of days, I mean, I believe we could say 6 days, but I don't,
Oh,
I don't know what defined days in terms of God. I'm assuming he means day one, day two, like how we do, but I'm gonna assume that. Sorry.
hmm. Why would you assume?
Because I don't think the Bible clearly specifies what a day truly is in terms of 6 days of creation, but I will assume for the most part it is like 6 normal days, like so. Because the 24-hour window that's something we created. Who knows what a day is to God?
Hmm.
I could be wrong in that. I don't know. I mean, that's
When was the last time you read that chapter?
Genesis 1. I read it a lot.
You
I go
read
back to it a
Genesis
lot.
1 a lot.
Yeah, I usually like. I know you guys aren't debating, but I usually just debate, so I go to Genesis quite a bit.
You debate, so you go to Genesis quite a bit.
Yeah, because people bring up Genesis a lot, depending on what it is, whether Jesus is there or just a lot of things about Genesis.
Genesis 1.
Yeah,
And what is that?
yeah. I go to Genesis 1:1 a lot. That's probably the most verse I go to. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Is that what you asked me? What is Genesis 1:1?
Right.
Yeah.
Noy, did you have a question for this guest?
Yeah, I just had a question about the creation thing in 6 days. Because it just baffles me.
Did I miss something? Like, did I lag out or?
No, I'm thinking.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry.
Because the 6 day thing always baffled me in my journey. Because
It's a lot, right? Yeah, it's hard. Even
no, it's
Christians.
right, because there's just so much that shows that 6 days, if we're talking about 6 hour days,
Right.
human days, it's impossible. It's just impossible. So my question is, where have you seen where 6 days makes sense other than the Bible telling you? Where out in the world have you seen that 6 days makes sense?
So there's nothing to compare it to. Obviously. So I don't even know how we could guide that through. Make sense is a tough question. I don't know. It's something that we can't recreate in terms of the universe and how long that would take to create. So I don't know.
It's just, when we look at the order,
Right, like the plants before the sun.
how?
So the way I take that, I mean, I know he says there was light. We could say that light sustains the plants before the sun came into place, which also sustains the plants. That's the way I kind of take that, because in Genesis 1:3 he said, "Let there be light." Maybe that light gives some sort of sustainability to the plants. Now I know people will disagree with that, but that's kind of a way I kind of sometimes take it.
So the light that came before gives sustainability to the plants.
Yeah, I
But then
think
he goes
sometimes, yeah, I'll say
ahead and
that, yeah.
makes a sun after.
Right.
And you believe that order, right? The sun coming after the plants.
Yeah, I do. Because it would be weird to believe, like, to not believe that, but to believe. I know you guys clearly probably don't believe in any of it, but like to think he's breathing through his nostrils and giving life to Adam, like,
Well, that's where I was actually going to go next. I'm curious why you would believe this second chapter then, if it contradicts the first.
like the, and how so?
Well, you just said the plants were made on the third day,
Right.
and that would be well before the man, right?
Yeah.
But why then in 2:5 does it say before there were plants, he makes a man?
Hmm. Um, I'm not too sure. I mean, I obviously don't have my Bible directly in front of me to open it up. So what's it say? It says before there were plants, he made a man. That's what it says in 2:5.
It's a little more involved than that, but
Right.
that is the order of things.
Right.
Let's ask hypothetically, if 2:5 includes a verse, if 2 includes a verse that explicitly states that a man was made before the plants, and then goes on even further to say that the man is made before the animals.
Right. Well,
Wouldn't that contradict Genesis 1?
yes, but now the Garden of Eden, I don't believe is on Earth. And when Adam's made, he's made in the Garden of Eden. Some will argue it is on Earth. I don't think it specifically states it's on Earth. Some people think it's like an intercession.
So in 2:5, when it says there are no plants on the earth,
Right.
and then goes on later to say that in the east he makes the garden.
Right. Yeah. I know some people. It's just we just haven't found this place for that. We have like speculation where it could be, but according to like geographical locations, I'm not gonna have the answers to those though. But I mean, yeah. I mean, you could look at that and say it's some sort of hard question to handle. At the end of the day, at least for me, it doesn't take away from like the resurrection. Whether I understand Genesis 1:1 or not doesn't change salvation for me as a Christian. For me, at least.
Noy, did you have a question?
Yeah. You said, you basically just said your creation in the Bible. You said you believed everything in the Bible is literal.
Yeah.
So your creation.
Well, for the most part. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. In terms of like stories, I do, but like in terms of like clear metaphors and analogies, I don't think those. Like, I don't think poking out your eye if you're sinning, he means literally poke out your eye. Or chopping your hand off. Just for the record, sorry.
Luckily, we're not talking about metaphors. We're talking about creation.
I know. I just didn't want it to creep up on you.
You're fine. So the idea of your creation doesn't at all affect your salvation.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, well, it does, but on how it was created, like the plants and all that.
Well, not just the plants. You.
Yeah, I wasn't created the way Adam was. Formed from dust. I was formed from a womb.
Kind
Go on
of.
there.
Yeah, sorry.
Did you have follow-up, Gobble?
Yes. You said you weren't made like Adam, but it's pretty clear in the Bible. It says we're all made in God's image. Whereas Adam not made in God's image?
Correct.
And were you not made in God's image?
Correct. But Genesis 1:26, that doesn't define. That's our likeness and our image. That's not how the rest of humanity is created. It's about the traits in our image, like mind, body, soul, and things like that.
Do you believe that Adam and Eve were real people?
Yes.
Do you believe that they laid together and had children?
Yes.
Do you believe that you are descendants of those children?
Yes.
So I'm going to ask, how are you any different from Adam other than he was firstborn?
I am different from Adam in the same way Cain and Abel are different from Adam.
I would love to know what scripture says that you're different from Adam.
Okay, well, here, Jeremiah 29:11. Before you were in your mother's womb, I knew you. That signifies that there was a womb. That's where we are. Before that even in terms of creation, before you were created in the womb, I knew you. So even God explicitly says that we're created in the womb. And Eve wasn't made the same way Adam was.
She was made in God's image, though, right?
Correct.
So she was made the same, right?
Yeah, she just wasn't made in the same process of creation.
Robbie, why do you believe that the Adam and Eve story is literal if it contradicts the first chapter?
So the reason I believe it's literal is because Jesus. So because I think Jesus is God and Jesus talks about Adam. That's why I think it's literal and not allegorical.
So you're saying because Jesus believed it, then it must be true.
Yes. Because I look at it like he's not just naming them, he's signifying that they are real. And he verifies that they're real. If you believe Jesus is God, at least.
So then, if there were some flaw with the Adam and Eve story, then it would be a flaw in Jesus.
You said I'm sorry, the what story? I didn't hear that first.
If there were a flaw in the Adam and Eve story, then that would be a flaw with Jesus. For believing it.
Real quick, I'm sorry, are you saying animated story? Just
No.
I can't tell what that word is.
Adam and Eve.
Oh, Adam and Eve story. There would be a flaw. If there was a flaw with Adam and Eve, would there be a flaw with Jesus? Well, Adam and Eve were very flawed. So
That's not
now
what
I know what you're asking in terms of creation.
My question was, if there was a flaw with the story, would that mean that there is a flaw in Jesus for believing it? For
No,
instance,
I don't think so.
If the Adam and Eve story were not true, would that indicate that the Jesus story was also not true?
No. Well, are you saying if it was objectively not true?
Yes.
If it was objectively not true, then then that would mean a God is not objectively true.
If the Adam and Eve story were not true.
Yeah, yes, I would agree. If Adam and Eve
Why would
in the
that
book of
indicate that
Genesis.
a God is not true?
Well, I'm sorry, the Christian God is not true, or the Hebrew God,
Go
or
ahead,
God of
Noe.
Abrahamic religions.
I hear that question ready to go. Go ahead, Noe.
No, you're fine, Thrayle. I was just adjusting my phone because thinking of some questions.
Well, if you don't have a question, Amita,
My fault.
otherwise I think you've got a question.
Right, my bad.
Robbie, I don't usually ask this because I don't want to give the impression that this is a place where I'm trying to dismantle or destroy
No,
people's
you're fine.
beliefs. But I want to ask this question because it seems relevant.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think might convince you that the Jesus story is not true? And keep in mind, that is not my goal.
No, I got you. I don't think it is. What would convince me is what would convince me. I would have to see an account of the body of Jesus to be like trusted and verified, like an archaeological discovery that directly contradicts the archaeological discovery that directly contradicts the resurrection.
So you're saying that in order to question the Jesus story, you would have to have evidence that it is mostly...
No, I would lose all belief.
Well, what I want to make sure is you're saying that in this case, you would need the evidence that not only the story is half true, but that the ending is false.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, so I would probably still believe Jesus was a real person, but if he didn't resurrect, then I would, yeah, that all of it, I would just throw the book out the window.
What would it...
I would go back to where I was.
Understandable. What would it take to compel you to believe or convince you that Jesus did not exist in the way the Bible describes?
I'd probably have to see double of the biblical and non-biblical accounts that basically states that he never existed and or didn't resurrect. So like, yeah, like to the non-existing part would be very hard for me, only because there's non-believers that acknowledge Christ's existence, like Tacitus. I'm no scholar in a lot of these. I haven't read all their manuscripts and stuff of that nature, but
Is it possible that these are names used by by people who take it at face value, who might change their view if you looked deeper? For instance, with Tacitus, is it possible that he's not referencing Jesus at all?
I can't confirm or deny it. I don't know which account it was, but I know one of them says like Jesus Christos, as they called him, or so like they said like they would call him a Christos, which means, or like anointed one that they said they were claiming on him, not
If you're
confirming
talking
him, but
about Tacitus, I don't believe. Well, I could be wrong, but I don't think he says the name Jesus at all. And I
Yeah,
think the name he says is Crestus.
yeah, which
So
would
would be a uniquely different name than Christos.
right. So are you saying in terms like it could have been about someone else?
Mhm. Since
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's possible. I think now to my lack of knowledge isn't going to help me here, but I would probably have to guess that the account supporting that would be about the person described in the Bible, Jesus. Like I said, I haven't read those manuscripts, so I just feel like there would be mention of disciples and companions, followers, things where you could kind of put an equation into that might point to Jesus of the Bible. But
and if there is an absence of those things, if there is no evidence of those followers,
I mean, it wouldn't really matter. Like I said, I don't read those manuscripts now, and I have the faith. I didn't get the faith because of those manuscripts, so um, like I said, it would have to be in accounts that completely explicitly like I don't even know how they could even come up with an account like that because there probably wouldn't even be one if the person ever existed or thought they existed. I don't. It's a tough one. I don't even know if that would really do anything for me. Only because I just feel like the Bible has a lot more historical like work put into it in terms of like
historical
historians.
work.
Yeah,
What do you mean by
like
that?
historians like going on their digs, and I feel like there's a lot more effort and findings that in terms of like Greek and Hebrew manuscripts, and there would ever be for a claim of Jesus not existing.
Who is it that
More
you?
findings.
Who do you think wrote the New Testament, the Gospels?
The New Testament or the Gospels?
Let's start with the Gospels.
I believe all the names are all attributed to the writers. Not attributed. I'm sorry. I think all the writers of the books are the names of the books are the writers of the books.
Mm-hmm.
Besides like First Timothy and like Titus and stuff like that. But I know you said the Gospels. My bad.
Yeah, the Gospels is where I was starting. So
Yeah, I
you're
believe
saying
Luke
that
wrote
like
Luke and Mark wrote Mark.
Matthew, Mark, and
Yeah.
John. Okay, and that each of them wrote those. Why do you believe that those are the authors?
Because it explicitly says in the Gospels, like like some people argue John didn't write John, but it explicitly says John wrote John at the end. Same thing with Luke.
Fascinating.
Do you know this? Sorry,
Go ahead, Philly.
I don't know how to ask the question without it being an accusation. I'm sorry,
It's
Thrayle.
up, bro. It's. I promise you, I got a bulletproof vest on. Don't worry. I won't. I don't think you guys mean any ill intent. Don't worry. I won't get defensive by any means. I'll keep my cool. I promise.
Go ahead, Philly.
Can you give us chapter and verse?
Yeah. So you could quite literally just go to the last passage of John.
You said Mark, you said Matthew, and Luke, right?
Well, I mean, I said John and Luke particularly. Mark, I'd have to double check, but I know Mark's gospel is a recollection of Peter. He was a companion of Peter. And Matthew, like I said, that one I'd have to go check explicitly. I know he's described on who he is. Description of him, so I'd have to go double check it exactly, but if I'm not mistaken,
What if you are mistaken? Does that
No, it
change
doesn't
your
change
belief?
anything.
It doesn't change your belief in who wrote them, even if there is no attribution
Well, there is attribution
within the
but,
Gospels themselves.
I think Matthew's literally starts like, this is the gospel according to Matthew. I think it quite literally states that, like in the beginning of the gospel.
I don't think you quite heard Philly's question. It was hypothetical. Go ahead and ask again, Philly.
I think I know what you mean. So if it were to come to find out that the authors weren't actually the authors, would that affect my belief? No, it
If you were
wouldn't.
to find out that the Gospels don't actually claim to be written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, would you still believe that they are written by Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John?
In the event of that hypothetical ever happening, which I don't believe it will, no, I wouldn't.
So if in that hypothetical you found out that they weren't attributed within the text for those four, then that would change your belief about who wrote them, or it wouldn't change your belief about who wrote them?
It wouldn't change my belief because ultimately,
Why not?
I'll tell. Yeah, so ultimately, same thing with Hebrews. We have no idea who the writer could be, but I do know who the author is, and it's the inspiration, or whoever inspired the author is the Holy Spirit. So that's why it wouldn't change my belief.
But it wouldn't. But it might change your belief then about who the human hand was.
I don't think so. No,
Why not?
because our my focus is on Jesus, not so much the disciples.
How do you get to know about Jesus if not through the Gospels?
Through the writers of the Gospels.
Literally,
Spirit.
that's what I just asked.
She said, if not through the gospel, then how?